Basically, we will be talking about and discussing trading with the clouds. Before beginning the few slides that I prepared, I would like to know how many of you kind of know are directional players and some who are like playing the game with the non-directional basis. Uh, how many of you are playing for the long options and somebody who is playing for the short options? Long options, please. Okay, I think decent crowd is there. So basically, I'll tell you, I was not trading in Ichimoku, the clouds, few months back, but we had a session with Manesh Patel. This guy has written a book on Ichimoku clouds, and since then it caught my attention, and quite love the concept in terms of how exactly you can play for the free ride. So I'm a directional trader. I buy options. So in case I'm going for the direction, I need to have the clarity, right? Uh, it honestly initially I was also kind of that thing कि उसमें काफी सारे complications हैं, but थोड़ा इसको परखने से ये पता चलता है कि it's quite a simple strategy. It's just that we have to kind of understand the lines, the basics, and the rules of the game, if I may say. Many of us are would like to have a kind of good ride. अब ड्राइविंग करते हैं ट्रैफिक में जब होते हैं यू डोंट लाइक द ड्राइव दैट मच राइट यू गेट स्टक you get not that free flow kind of thing. Ichimoku clouds will give you that free flow. अगर कुछ कुछ settings में आपको पता चलता है, you just know that there is no looking back. You have to kind of step on the gas and try to kind of go for the hundreds and 120s, 150s, that kind of speed. So let me discuss few slides. I know people who might not have used it or seen it might find it a little confusing, but trust me, you just have to pinpoint few things, and once those rules are quite simple and clear, I think it will definitely impact you in your directional trading. In fact, in a non-directional trading also, because market is sideways or choppy. So let's see both sides of this story. And along with the Ichimoku, I'll be using few of the confirmatory signals or indicators to have a confirmation bias towards my direction that is getting opened by Ichimoku. I love to flirt with this kind of indicators where it kind of gives me some kind of confirmation. Okay, fine. This is what it is looking like. Abhishek, where exactly is it saved? I'm sorry. Uh, I'm sorry. Okay, got it. Yeah, got it. So, yeah, so I always like to play with different indicators and try to find out ki I'm not a price action guy. Let me be very honest, and I try to play with the indicators because even if they're little lagging, even if they do not tell us the entire picture, but deep down you'll find certain things if we combine few indicators and be it RSI, be it on balance volume, be it MACD, whatever that is your personal preference. So what I've done here, I've tried to combine Ichimoku with super trend. I'm pretty sure all of you know super trend, what exactly is super trend, with on balance volume, right, OBV. Now, it's not enough that we know an indicator, and we don't really need to know the calculation part of it, but live market में कैसे use करें, correct? And that is exactly what the idea is. If I see certain things in the live market, what should be the interpretation for that indicator or for that setup so that I can take the trade? In my personal experience, if I may say, do all your analysis, analytics and everything post the market. During the market hours, your mind should be having the utmost clarity what you need to do. अगर वो clarity आपके पास रहेगा, game थोड़ा easy होता है कि how exactly you can play it out. So this is what we'll be looking at. What are the components of Ichimoku clouds? Heikinase candles, I know most of you would know that, or rather all of you would know that. I use fractals quite a bit, and I'll tell you the relevance of fractals, how it can be used. Super trend, I really don't need to say, it's just that you have to change your settings as per your preference. OBV is something that in case you have not used, try to use it. It will definitely give a, I would say, it's a leading indicator. That is also, and it combines price action. I'll talk about it. And what are the strategy in terms of, is the confluence of few things, and then suddenly you say, okay, fine, the picture is getting ready, right? And how can we not kind of talk about option buying rationale? So I'll talk few things on that slide. So what is Ichimoku overview? Now I do not want to confuse you at all, right? So there are 5 things that we'll be looking at. One is conversion line. I'm not reading the Japanese terms because that will again create a bias in your mind. So conversion line, this is nothing the midpoint of last 9 दिन का high, 9 दिन का low, highest high जो भी point होगा, 9 दिन का lowest low जो point होगा उसका midpoint, right? Number 1. Baseline is nothing, 9 के जगह 26 हो गया, last 26 पीरियड का, लेट्स से दिन नहीं पकड़ के जो भी टाइम फ्रेम में पकड़े 15 मिनट का टाइम फ्रेम मतलब 26 पीरियड, राइट? सो 26 पीरियड का हाईएस्ट हाई, 26 पीरियड का लोएस्ट लो, व्हाट इज द मिड पॉइंट, करेक्ट? नाउ व्हाट इज द लीडिंग स्पैन? नाउ just observe this. Once we come to the chart, I'll think it will have a clarity. Leading span is nothing, it's again a midpoint between these 2 lines we are talking about, conversion line and baseline, right? And leading span B, these 2 part creates the cloud ka upper body and lower body, if I may, upper line and lower line. This is nothing, is 52 period ka high low. Now the point is, we don't need to calculate anything, just for an understanding and how it can impact your decision making. Now the thing that I am going to focus more on, I rather, this is what it has caught my attention, is this lagging span. This is nothing, on this candle today, जिस भी प्राइस में हम क्लोज कर रहे हैं, 26 पीरियड पहले का क्लोज इससे नीचे था, इससे ऊपर था, करेक्ट? नाउ दिस इज अ लाइन दैट विल बी ऑलवेज बिहाइंड द प्राइस लाइन बिकॉज इट इज टेकिंग द क्लोजिंग प्राइस ऑफ 26 पीरियड्स बिफोर. सो लेट्स से आप टुडे इज 26th ऑफ द मंथ, आज का क्लोजिंग प्राइस 100 है, ऑन द फर्स्ट डे ऑफ द मंथ द क्लोजिंग प्राइस इज 50, correct? So that line will be talking about 50, we are at 100, so we are bullish, right? Technically this is correct. 26 दिन पहले का पीरियड का क्लोजिंग प्राइस क्या है, आज का क्लोजिंग प्राइस क्या है? आज का क्लोजिंग प्राइस अगर 26 दिन पीरियड का क्लोजिंग प्राइस से नीचे है, we are bearish, ऊपर है तो bullish. Simple, right? Now how do we interpret? Now even if you go a little bit of in depth key, what exactly is this conversion line, baseline, or leading span A, B, nothing wrong. But let's talk about usability. Now, I completely understand initially we might not have different lines and everything, but I sincerely think, spend some time with it and see, irrespective of the time frame that you're looking at, it acts beautifully. It's quite nice in that way. So, now we're going to talk more on this lagging span, the Chicago, right? That's the only line that we are going to focus on. Apart from the clouds, all of you know clouds are nothing but, these are zones of support and resistance. अगर clouds को pierce के price action ऊपर जा रहा है, you are bullish. Clouds को kind of breach करके नीचे जा रहा है, that is bearish. How the clouds are getting formed? This is leading span A and leading span B. Now again, we really do not need to know the calculation part of it. Now I'll come to the curve part. Now this is, you can see the kind of a basic. Okay. Before that, I am pretty sure all of you know about Heikin-Ashi, right? I would like to just take you through that. Heikin-Ashi is nothing, so I normally like to look at the Heikin-Ashi candle, not the normal candle, because I want to see the continuity. I need to see the confirmation. So Heikin-Ashi, even if it is not the accurate picture, because it takes the calculation of the previous bar ka high, low, close, and that is how it is coming to the picture. So actually, agar price 100 mein hoga, Heikin-Ashi might be 96, 95 and things like that, right? But here, I'm not interested to find out what is the right price. I'm more kind of interested to find Heikin-Ashi. I'm treating Heikin-Ashi as an indicator. Trend continuation हो रहा है, नहीं हो रहा है, trend का मतलब जो strength लग रहा था, that is getting died down, or maybe there's a new trend that is getting formed, right? And that is why, and this is visual representation, which is quite nice. Normally क्या होता है, normal candles में, not that it is wrong, but since I'm not that efficient, I try to find things which are a little more reflective of the market condition that is going on right now. So I use Heikin-Ashi, read about Heikin-Ashi, nothing again matlab complicated, but the usage of it. I would look for the continuity part of it. अगर मैं bullish candle देख रहा हूँ, okay, let me open the chart, any chart, and just give me a second. I think that will be better. This is a normal candle, all of you can see. This is 50-minute candle. So what I don't like about the candle, not that anything right or wrong about it, is like no, me processing the data. Let's put it in that way. I don't want this red, green, and the kind of candle that is coming. What I want actually, I just want continuity and bit of confirmation. Uh, do you see there is less noise over here? There is just a kind of a few candles which is giving continuity of bullish candle, green candles. Few candles over here, this is giving you kind of bearish candles, and this is visually okay fine. This is what it is. Now this candle ka high low and the actual candle high low could be different because of the way it has been calculated. But what it actually brings to the table is that if you're in the market and if you see 2-3 candles like this, and you can see the continuation will happen or could happen. Now what I have observed over a period of time, अगर 2-3 कैंडल बनते हैं मतलब जिसका ओके देयर आर टू थिंग्स, एक कैंडल का साइज होता है एंड एक बॉडी ऑफ द कैंडल होता है. हेकिनेस में जब भी कोई भी कैंडल 75-80% ऑफ द बॉडी रहता है, मतलब बॉडी ऑफ द कैंडल इज 75-80%, दैट इज हैविंग द सेलिंग प्रेशर और बाइंग प्रेशर. सो इफ यू सी ऑल दिस कैंडल्स, ये जो 4-5 कैंडल आप देख रहे हैं, नीचे का वीक बना है, बट द कैंडल बॉडी इज क्वाइट इंटरेस्टिंग, especially this 2-3, correct? This is where the sellers are in grip, right? So I want to find out the zones jahan pe ki sellers are in grip, right? So at least even if we'll go to the one by one, what are the other things that we can look at, but at least I'll not be a buyer here. I'll not buy calls. So if I'm playing for direction in the market, which is lot of having volatility and everything, I just try to bring few things towards my side jahan pe ki clarity of thought rahe. तो एटलीस्ट यहाँ पे हमें पता है कि मुझे कॉल्स बाय नहीं करना है. आर वी ऑन दिस? एनी डाउट सो फार ऑन दिस वन?
After 27th, yeah, just look around these red candles. No, you were right on these. So don't you think even these were giving the similar kind of indications like we are talking about? These are good bigger candles of Heikinashi, and you mentioned 3 decent candles with that kind of body. So what would I have done over here? We are losing opportunity also over here, if I'm not wrong, for a scalper or any of that sort, because these were completely going down.
See, the thing that you need to look at Heikinashi, whenever there are few candles that are getting formed, before the trend gets converted to another trend, let's say bullish to bearish or bearish to bullish, first there is a doji candle that will get formed. It will immediately not form ki body of the candle 80% raha bearish candle mein, suddenly bullish candle will be 80%. There will always be a changeover, and if you see, whenever this candle is getting kind of so a bullish trend jab khatam hota hai na, the body size will get shrink. It will form a doji. The size of this thing, upper week and lower week rahega, then you know okay fine, the change might be getting to a kind of reversal mode kind of thing. So that is another benefit ki Heikinashi mein you will always get that pause jahan pe ki trend is getting changed, correct? So this is one point. This is another one point kind of where it is getting changed. But again, do not put too much of weight jahan pe ki body is very, very small. You need to go for the candles jahan pe body is 80% of the kind of whole candle. So agar wo nahi hai, to then that decisive action might not be there. So this is Heikinashi. I'll bring few other factors to tell you how we can find few clarity in the kind of setup that you're looking at. Now, apart from Heikinashi, what exactly that we want to see is this fractal. I hope all of you know about fractal. In case not, these fractals are nothing but these are like 3-bar fractal, 5-bar fractal, a mini top or a mini bottom. तो बेसिकली ये होता है, कोई भी रिवर्सल होता है ना, पहले अगर बुलिश से बियरिश होता है, इट्स एन इन्वर्टेड वी. जो बियरिश से बुलिश होता है, दैट्स ए प्रॉपर वी, राइट? सो इफ यू सी, not necessarily it is 100% correct, or rather not necessarily it will help you all the time, but at least I'll not be buying a call till the time this fractal high is not taken out. So this is a zone of resistance. For me, whenever I see a fractal, up fractal, so let's say market बढ़ रहा है, right? Now, depending upon time frame that you're looking at, that I'm not going to talk about, but any time frame, whenever the reversal happens, the reversal will start happening on a 3-bar fractal or 5-bar fractal. Correct. Now, my logic is that, or rather my observation is that, in case this high is taken out, you will see a lot of bigger rally to be coming. Now, it will not be taken out. Why? If you see the fractal जहाँ पे यहाँ पे बन रहा है, the body of the candle is getting shrinked. These are kind of not doji. And similarly, जहाँ पे कि bearish action भी खत्म हो रहे होंगे, you will see the candles are getting shrinked. So fractals here. Now this is not something that I'll be relying too much because still the body is quite good. But this is something that I'll be relying upon. Okay, fine. Maybe things are taking a pause and things like that. Now again, this is not confirmation. All I'm trying to say, you try to bring in few factors to understand. This could be the zone where reversal is happening, either downside say or upside say, right? So this is fractal. So if you're short, let's say you manage to find out this trend, right? If you're short at this level, if you're finding 2-3 fractals here, try to book 70%, 80% or trail your stop loss as much as that you can, okay, fine. Even if my stop loss hit hota hai, still I book my profit. अगर फ्रैक्टल बनता है ना नीचे के साइड में, so this is nothing but your mini bottom, right? Or like say swing low in this time frame. Do not try to buy put here. So all I'm trying to bring your focus to is that there are zones where you need to buy put. There are zones where the puts that you have bought needs to be sold out. जहाँ पे आपको सेल करना है वहाँ पे बाई नहीं करना चाहिए. जहाँ पे आपको कॉल्स बाय करना चाहिए वहाँ पे आपको लेसे कॉल सेल नहीं करना चाहिए. आई होप यू गेट माई पॉइंट. सो इफ आई एम बाइंग ए पुट, इफ आई एम bearish in the market, this is where I need to enter. If I have not entered, I have missed the bus. This is just because it has come down so much. Do not buy here. The fractal. So when you'll be buying? So let this fractal low be taken out, then I'll be buying. Or let this fractal high be taken out, then I'll be buying. So I think I have played around few kind of what you say indicators like just give me a second. I think there are few guys who have done this. Just give me a second. You can see quite a few. I'm not sure whether this is the one or maybe some other one, but try to find out a kind of a visual representation कहाँ पे ये top या bottom बन सकते हैं, right? Anyway, it's not loading. So first we talked about Heikin-Ashi, we talked about fractal. Now what I'm going to put is this indicator called Ichimoku that we have already spoken about, right? Now this is a cloud. I know this might get. Now let me take out few things so that we don't get confused. Now we don't need this for sure. I'm taking the fractal out. We just have the Heikin-Ashi, right? So this is what we are looking at. Now so this is my observation, what I am looking at in Ichimoku with Heikin-Ashi and everything. Fractal I'll bring to the table. So whenever, okay, so if you see, what I'm going to take out is this 2 lines. I don't need the conversion line and base line. I'll talk about it. What I'm needing is these 3 things. Lagging span, that's Chicago. Then we're talking about this leading span and leading span B. This is nothing, this span A and span B are creating these clouds, correct? Now, there are 2 rules to it, right? Let me just highlight this so that we can, just give me a second. Now just, okay, 1 second. Let's just look at this purple line, okay? And this is the line that we are talking about. So this is 50-minute band nifty, correct? Now we see a cloud that is being created. Obviously, this cloud will keep forming a zone of support and zone of resistance. जो last का जो bar बना है, अभी का जो price है, that is less 39,985 in the band nifty future. Now this price जो आप यहाँ पे देख रहे हैं, this is a close 26 period back, correct? Now जब तक ये line is away from the candles and away from the clouds, this is bullish. This is like a free run. You can speed up your car to 100, 120, that kind of thing. Whenever this line touches the price, any of the candles or any of the clouds, then you'll find obstructions. You'll find traffic. That is a time we do not need to be that adventurous to kind of take any many trades kind of thing. But here, something like this, the price action is going above the cloud. That is my first confirmation that is there. The Chicago, the 26 period low, sorry 26 periods का close जो हम देख रहे हैं, that is piercing through the cloud and going away from the candle, that is bullish. If it is going below the candles and below the cloud, it is bearish. Now let's look at few of the things which will give us. See, I'm not saying you just change your setup to kind of adapt to this thing, but try to inculcate this thinking. Whenever this Chicago is touching the price action, price is always a congestion zone. And as a trader, if I'm buying options in terms of calls or puts, I need clarity. I don't need congestion. I don't need traffic. But traffic khatam hota hai, I'm ready to drive my car at 150. If the setup is right. So can you see this zone? And we're talking about good, this is like, there are some point where price action has gone. Now what interestingly happens, price action invariably finds resistance at the cloud, if it is below the cloud, or if it is above the cloud, if there is a retracement, they'll find support with the cloud. Now, somewhere here it has gone up, taken resistance, come down, but look at the Chicago. All this while, this is near to the price action or the candle. The clarity is not there. But there are times when the Chicago is definitely away from the price action. Can you see? So my point is, I need this meat. The chunky part of the cream that I need, I don't need froth. Here, all this candle, if I'm missing out, I'm talking about this part of it. Why? The candles are above the cloud. So what did I say? If the candles are above the cloud, it is bullish, correct? If this 26 period line is far away from the candle and above the price action, it is bullish. So does it meet both the kind of conditions that you're looking at? Now, if this is the kind of setup, all this while, now let's bring in this fractal thing, and you'll probably see when exactly the point of turnaround. There is a fractal resistance here, fractal support here, but above this, there is a fractal again kind of resistance. Do you see some kind of a retracement happening? Not that it is not kind of bullish, but I would like to buy only above this. So, जब भी ये fractal बनते हैं, a cluster of fractals, try to buy above that, and you'll see again a rally. It's kind of a mini resistance kind of zone. But once this Chicago, this 26 period close, starts approaching your price candle, that's the zone of congestion again. So remove your profit, book your profit. That's not the point to be aggressive. The zone that you need to be aggressive is here. Price is going above the candle, above the cloud, and also the Chicago is going above the price. That is the zone you need to be aggressive. Play your game more freely, right? But अगर यहाँ पे हम aggressive होंगे, जहाँ पे कि price, Chicago is kind of closing towards the price, you're not going to get that much of cream. Similarly over here, and we are talking about 50-minute candle. Do you see a fractal here, right? So if I'm buying a call, I'm only going to buy a call above this kind of cluster of fractals. Is that clear? Any doubt on this one? This is resistance zone. अगर इसके ऊपर price जाता है, I will buy. Now another thing you can look at, जब हेकिनाशी में काइंड ऑफ बुलिश एक्सजेशन होता है ना, अपर वीक बनता है, करेक्ट? जब बियरिश एक्सजेशन होता है, लोअर वीक बनता है. सो यहाँ पे आप देखो कि जितना अपर वीक बन रहा है, दैट मीन्स मे बी द स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ द ट्रेंड इज गोइंग डाउन at that point of time. Not that it will not go up again, but if you've already bought it somewhere here or something like this, try to book your profit, trail your stop loss tight. See, in trading, this is my belief, if we know what not to be done or how not to damage your profit that you have already earned, 50%, 70% of the time you will be profitable. The thing is that once we get profits, we get little euphoric. अरे नहीं, अब तो मुझे पता है कि I'm in the grip, right? Just to realize after 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 50 minutes, that profit is gone. So my point is, to caught a trend, if you catch up something which is kind of quite decent, do not let it go back to the market, right? And how do you ensure that the profit आपने पकड़े, जो short term trend आप पकड़े, how do you capture that? This is how you capture, right? So the condition is that fractal high बन रहा है, book profit. If your Chicago candle is up, Chicago line is approaching your candles, kind of try to book your profit. Most certainly, 80% of the time. Now you don't have to check now. Go back and see, test on any instrument. Whenever this Chicago is with the price action, you'll always find congestion. You'll not be neither downside nor upside. You wait for the kind of this Chicago to go away from the price action. Then you see the magic. So most of the times we get stuck. Now upar jara na niche aa raha hai, let it be. Matlab, let's have confirmation. Because once you have the confirmation, and see, the point you also need to look at is that, let's say somehow here, some point at this point of time, you're looking कि the Chicago is definitely has gone above the cloud, price action से ऊपर है. Even if you catch something here with the fractal low, we are talking about at least maybe 800, 900, 700 points का rally kind of thing. So play the bigger game. I have been kind of rather I was doing scalping a lot, kind of previously, like maybe 4 or 5 years back. Invariably I do here and then, but I would say ki, try to have systems which will give you more comfort in terms of your decision making skills to play a bit of a swing. For that, you need to first reduce the position sizing, and that is against the scalping, because you want to, in scalping, what you do? Get a small trend, you pump in the quantity and make profit, right? But here, what you can do, you first have the confirmation, try to pyramid the quantity that you have already gotten, or on the which side, call side, put side, whatever that is there, and try to see how much it can show the rally. Now, I'll show you something in the 3-minute chart, and it'll be interesting to see what exactly happened today when that small dip that came in during the market hour. Just give me a second. There was a fall at around 215, right? Before the fall, do you see a fractal? Can we, let's say if you have already taken from some positions here, because it is above the cloud, it is, Chicago is not kind of, even if it is close, but still, it's still better. I would say ki at this point of time, or maybe the first candle, initially we will not get a feel, but maybe the first or second candle may, if you bought a call, you need to get out, right? If you have not bought a put, that's still fine. But if you see a fractal swing low, this zone I'm talking about, this is a 3-minute candle, right? Do not buy puts because a cluster of fractals low being created, right? Now, obviously, I would not know that this is the first candle I need to buy calls. Give a benefit of doubt for the second candle, let it pierce to the cloud, settle it above the cloud. Now, what is the confirmation that we have right now? The price action is above the cloud and the Chicago is far away from the line. Does it give us some kind of confirmation that this is kind of going to go up? And what could be the stop loss? The stop loss would be your swing low of this fractal that has been created. Now the previous candle ka low ka stop loss lijiye. But this is the rally you should not be missing. So the अगर यहाँ पे आप trading करें ना, option call put buy करेंगे, you will get troubled. Try to find out zones like this. So अगर आप normally अगर let's say मैं 5,000 quantity buy करना चाहता हूँ, and if you are an aggressive trader, I would say कि buy 20,000 here. I mean to say, not exactly with the quantum, but at the same time, the aggressiveness and the confidence that you might be building up, right? So use this whole Ichimoku and Chicago line for having clarity of thought. जहाँ पे कि आप गाड़ी का speed 150, 130 में भगा सके, knowing it is not going to be there for eternity. There is going to be a time when it will reverse, right? The reversal will be coming from maybe the fractals, some other kind of setup. Now, OBV is something that I wanted to show, which is, tell me. Yes.
Before starting it, right, you said that in Chicago, if it comes, the candles are lying at the Chicago, you cannot trade. It's just a area where you cannot trade. That's what you said, right?
I said that's an area of congestion.
And here, you see, it's 26 candles. Prior to that, we have the line, right? We have the level. From here, do we know that this will be the area where it will be consolidating? We
Which
cannot
area?
find it, right? So here, while you said in the
This
Nietzsche,
one?
no, just go back.
This one?
Just go back. Yeah, there it is cutting the range. That's why you said you cannot take the trade that particular period because
No.
it is cutting, right? So if you just go back 26 candles before,
Uh-huh.
that was away,
Mm-hmm.
and okay. So here you see here, no, just go back.
More?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So okay. Uh, yeah, you see that it is cutting, right? Before that it was away, right? The trend was, let's say on 29th, before that the trend was going up,
Uh-huh.
okay, and the candlesticks was already gone up,
Uh-huh.
okay. So if I go on with the trend on 29th,
Okay.
because 26 candles, right? If you
If I
just go for it, I could have gone for a long entry there, but it turned out to be a
You need to
consolidating
tell me
phase.
which date that
It
you're
is on
looking.
29th. If you see on 29th,
Huh?
10 o'clock, the candle was already high. Okay. And
Uh-huh.
then 26 candles prior to that, the trend line would be on 29th, 9:15 or somewhere. The trend line was up.
Yeah, so
No, no, not there. No, just go to 29th, 9 o'clock, the trend is up.
29th, 9 o'clock.
9
Okay.
o'clock. Yeah, 9 o'clock, the trend is up on the Chicago.
Uh-huh.
It is up, okay.
Right.
And if you see on 10 o'clock, the candle will be on 10 o'clock and Chicago will be on 9 o'clock. 26 candle prior to
Right,
that.
right, right.
It is telling me it is going up. The trend is going up, but the trend was not going up there. I would have ended up in loss there.
No, you're not getting the point. See, all I'm trying to say, whenever you see the candle, right, and you see the corresponding Chicago line, if that line is approaching or rather the slope is not there, try to reduce your positions, right? I would only try to continue the position sizing or rather aggressively take more positions when the Chicago line is having a slope and staying away from the price. If the slope is horizontal, that's the first
Also,
time.
it's going up, right? You just see that, compare it that with this. The trend is also
Okay,
going
I'm
up.
I'm at 29th at 10:30.
Yeah, 10:30, the trend was already up, okay. If you just calculate 29, 26 candles, that the Chicago would have been on the upside.
So yeah, that's
So
fine.
that means that I would have gone for a long entry. That's what you're saying, correct?
Yes.
But it has turned out to be a consolidated phase. So how can I take this as a reference for trade?
So if you're seeing this candle, right? Let's say this is how the Chicago is coming. Can we see the slope something around which is kind of going maybe
Can you do it in a replay? Do you have a replay button there? Do you have a replay?
I don't use that, but that's okay. Let me just show you the
No, no.
slope that I'm.
No. If you can do with a replay, that will be easy for us to understand better.
Okay, I never used it to be
Yeah, just
honest.
go a replay. Click
Okay.
on replay. Go to that 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock on 10 o'clock. There is a fractal there, right? At 10 o'clock
Uh-huh.
at the top. Yeah, just
Right.
click on that.
Uh-huh.
You don't have. You don't have a replay. It's okay.
See, I'll tell you the logic. See, the point of what I'm trying to say, if the Chicago line is having a slope and staying away from the price, I'm comfortably going to go for a buy. If there is the slope that is going to get missed out, and if the price Chicago line is coming towards the price action or getting horizontally kind of sideways, that's not a zone that you'll be going aggressive about it. So my point is, A, the price action has to be above the clouds. Over here, it is there in the kind of above the clouds. The Chicago is having a kind of 45-degree, 30-degree kind of slope. At some point of time, when the consolidation is happening, look at the slope of Chicago. That is not anymore 45, 30% kind of thing. It is getting kind of sideways. And that is the first signal that I'm looking at. Okay, fine. Maybe the candles or rather the rally is going to get for a stagnation. Now, that is another thing that I wanted to show, which I might not be showing it over here because it doesn't have this thing. Let me, just give me a second. I'll come back to that. What you can do, have this OBV line. I'm pretty sure most of you might be knowing about OBV. This is nothing but positive volume and negative volume. And over there, I'll show you in the slide. Then I'll come back here what I'm trying to show. Give me a second. Uh, Now, this is something that I have developed for myself with few other setters, but normally you can check your own OVB. Now, whenever for me, now coming back to your question, what about the consolidation? If you see any point of time when okay, I have put a super trend also. Now, whenever the super trend is flattish, your checkout line is not having the horizontal slope, horizontal in the sense 30-40 degree slope kind of thing, and my OVV line is giving kind of a negative setup, that is the zone I'll not be buying any calls. It's as simple as that. Now, you can always tell me, okay, fine, this is the setup that I do not have for my OVV. For that I'm saying, go to the kind of trading view, draw your OVV, nothing no issue with that. Now, draw an SMA or exponential moving average, and that is how we'll be calculating the OVV exponential moving average. Just give me a second, I'll input that. So the length, let's put it around 9, and I don't want SMA, I want EMA. And let me put a style over here in terms of this thing is, yep. So just see this part. So my point is ki whenever I'm bullish, the last set of confirmation that I want to have, give me a second. I don't know why it is not moving. The last set of confirmation that I have, or rather I need to have, my OVV line should be above its EMA. Now, how exactly would you draw an EMA? Just click on these 3 dots, right? And this, in fact, can be done and any of the kind of indicator that you have. Draw on this one, add an indicator and EMA. That is how I'll do it. So basically what you're trying to find out, smoothing of that same indicator, be it OVV or RSI over a period of last 9 period or say 14 period. So whenever this OVV is below your red line, that is your EMA, I'm not going to go for the call. And maybe most of the times you'll see your Chicago line is going to be kind of a horizontal space, your super trend is going to be kind of a flattish, and maybe the price action is not suggesting you to be that aggressive. There will be zones when price action will coincide with the fact that, can you see this part, the EMA and the OVV line, and plus the Chicago line. So this is what I want to try to have. Okay, fine, I need to have a slope, I need to have a clear direction. The Chicago line is not approaching your candles, and that is the free path I want to have to play kind of a good kind of setup for longs. Now, you can say that I don't want to buy calls to sell puts here, but at least at this point of time, do not sell calls. So once that clarity is there, most of the time you'll be in the zone where it is kind of benefiting you. So my simple thing is that use, not that you have to use all of it or whatever, but I do have one 5-minute chart for Bank Nifty over in this whole setup, which I would show in the template. Give me a second. Yep. So if you see this one, the zone over here, this is a super trend. You can draw 10 to, that should be fine. Whenever the super trend is flattish, correct? My Chicago line is kind of approaching towards the kind of candle or below the candle. This is, I would say, not something having clear of congestion. This is inside the kind of this thing. And my biggest this thing is that being OVV is the leading indicator. This doesn't give me a signal to buy calls, right? I'll only buy calls whenever this signal is giving me a blue kind of this thing. There are 4, 5, or maybe 6, 7 different setups that have been created. But for the basic ones, what you can do, have an OVV, with that have a smooth 14 period, 9 period EMA. That should always tell you whenever the OVV is more than the EMA, it is bullish, below the EMA it is bearish. So the setup goes like this. We are talking about Ichimoku, we are not looking at the baseline and conversion line. We are just looking at the Chicago, we are looking at the cloud. I am looking for a setup where my OVV is kind of giving a buy signal. My super trend is having a slope just like this. Prices kind of going above the cloud, and your Chicago line is kind of far away from the kind of candles and having a clear path. It doesn't have an obstruction. Rest of the time, if you see, not that this zone you cannot buy calls and put, but based on this setup, this is one setup where I'll make money. This fall, clearly one setup I'll be making money. Look at the slope of the super trend, the OVV, and this Chicago line. All are kind of coming to kind of in the same place. Here, once you start doing the shorting or buying put, just try to see the Heikin candle formation. Whenever there is a fractal that is coming in the kind of lower fractal, or let's say lower wick, or the body of the candle is kind of getting swinged, just remove your positions. So that's pretty much what I would like to talk about the whole setup. If you have any questions, you can let me know. Then I'll go for a couple of slides for the option buying. Yeah. Over here. See, okay, this is another, this thing I keep getting questions like, what is the exact point of entry and exit? Trust me, for me, there is never been a perfect entry or perfect exit. Since I buy, let's say, put options, or let's say in this case, I'll buy put options, I'll first try to test the water with maybe 10, 20 lots, 20, 25 lots kind of thing. Once I start seeing that, traction is getting built up, right? You can correlate that with your C writing, put writing, or whatever, those kind of data point. Or maybe you can also see कि the previous candle का lower wick जो बना है, next candle का body उसको cross कर रहा है क्या? अगर वो body cross कर रहा है, I'll add quantity. So for me, pyramiding is the key. For me, it is never about entering 100 lots at one price point, having 20 ka stop loss and write the whole this thing. I'll try to find out ki how much more bigger candles I can accumulate in my path. So I'll add 20 lots, then another 20 lots. Once I have more confirmations, let's say the checkout line is drifting towards away from the candles, or let's say OBV is coming up, then I'll add more quantity. So I'll play with say 10, 20, then increase it to whatever that is there. Yeah. Then that's what I'm saying. So what gives me the confirmation? What gives me the confirmation? Why do I need to buy puts? And I'm not putting all my eggs at one go, right? So if I'm seeing a cluster of fractals getting created, even if you don't buy puts, don't be having calls. So at least, even if you don't make money by the put side of it, let's say so this is my normal setup, one of the setups I use quite predominantly. But even if you do not buy puts, can we remove our calls from all the quantity that we might have taken over here? So once that is there, whether you buy put or not, that's up to you. Once you see few of the times, observe, it's not that just because you see here in hindsight we are all intelligent, that's not the point. But most of the times it will just tell you, okay, fine, maybe the trend that you see for the last 20 minutes, 25 minutes is getting over. So 30 minutes ka burst is there, but now it is over. Now, at least book my profit. Let's not get carried away with all the 10 candles ka bullishness that we saw. Let's just book our profit. So that's the way to kind of look at this one. And yeah, so basically this is what I had to share about the Ichimoku. Now Ichimoku means the calculation is there, but just look at the clouds and Chikao. That's my kind of output I would say. Fractals we talked about, Heikin-Ashi. So basically, yeah, high probability strategy is what? Try to find out the price versus the cloud, the placement of the candles versus the cloud, right? This Chikao is nothing but momentum. That please, I miss saying that. This Chikao is nothing but the momentum. So try to find out the price action of now the 26 candle before, what is the momentum that is getting built. Future cloud placement is nothing but span A, span B का जो आगे का जो cloud बन रहा है, super trend and Chica का slope, and this is quite. So we must be using super trend and other factors. Try to always see how exactly the slope of the particular super trend. So it is not enough that you just use super trend and okay fine, it is a buy or sell. Even if it is a buy, if there is no proper slope that is there in super trend, don't be that aggressive in a kind of a setup. And strength of the OBV. Try to explore this OBV with the EMA setup that I was talking about. You'll definitely find quite a bit of strength in this one. Last but not the least, this is my favorite slide. I keep talking every here and there. Okay, like what are the terms and conditions that are needed to be knowing okay, why option buying makes sense. It is like you do not buy a call and stay it for next 5 days, 10 days, as Abhishek was saying, ki okay, 300 mein le liye, 100 rupees aa gaya. It is never the kind of case. Either you will have a time-based stop loss, or you will have a kind of price-based stop loss. मैं 300 रुपए में लिया, let's say 10% का मेरा premium का stop loss है. That is one way to look at it. Or the second one is that maybe 2 दिन में नहीं बढ़ा तो नहीं बढ़ा, I'll be out of it, right? To trade only when in the trending market. Now, trending market for me is that when the Chicago line is away from the price action above the cloud, that is trending, right? So you have to find out the momentum, you have to find out when the trend is there. Stick to ATMs for higher POP, probability of profit. You try to find out when, see, basically, normally हम options ये करते हैं कि not only it gives our future में इतना cost carry नहीं करना चाहते हैं, options में काफी कम है उसको कर सकते हैं, and 2 ATM calls is equal to 1 future. Bit of theta is there, I understand, but 2 ATMs are equal to 1 future. So why do I put that much of margin in buying, let's say, 1,000 quantity of Reliance in future? I'll buy 2,000 calls. That's equivalent to 1,000 futures, right? So that's another way to look at it. Stick to ATMs because you'll definitely give more chance to yourself to kind of be profitable. But what normally I do, if I find this kind of a clear trend, I increase my delta. I do not play for 50 delta. If I have more clarity, my delta would be 70, 80. So let's say the last 30 minutes that we saw, the kind of a bank nifty rallied, instead of the ATM, I'll go to 70, 75 or 80 delta because obviously the traction would be more in the little ITM money rather than the ATM money, right? Obviously theta and IV, I think all of you are aware. You need to be aware when the IV is around more than say 22, 25, don't be kind of long options kind of thing. Theta anyway, we don't have to talk. Chase delta and gamma. I believe in this thing that if you find pockets of brilliance in terms of the price movement, the trend, momentum, and everything, you'll find good trades and try to capture those trades. It's not about fighting the entire day in the market, but it is fighting for those 30-40 minutes जहाँ पे कि spark दिखता है, right? वहाँ पे ही आपको सबसे ज़्यादा traction मिलेगा. और अगर वही 35-40 minutes आप lose कर लेंगे, the entire day might not give you that much of money. So yes, you need to be with the system in case you're a day trader, but try to look for those 35-40 minutes of brilliance from the price action point of view, right? So yeah, so this is one, and more or less this is what I kind of talked already. Delta gamma gives you more mileage, not to trade in the flattish super trend, flattish your Chicago, that is also there. Buy options at high premium and sell it higher. Most of the times what we do is that we buy options because यहाँ पे premium तो कम ही है, जाएगा तो इतना ही जाएगा. That's not the right attitude to buy options. Buy premium because IV is high, because there is demand. So buy options with a bit of premium and expecting that premium to explode further. Never ever buy, let's say hypothetically you have 10 lakhs of capital if you're a beginner or rather you're learning the market. Don't put more than say 10% in option buying. That is the maximum that you should be putting. It's not that आपके पास 10 लाख का capital है कि मैं 10 लाख पूरा डाल दूंगा because वहाँ पे तो ठीक इतना ही लगेगा, but the risk management will not be correct. Till the time you're not pro, do not put more than say 10-20% option premium kind of thing. Yeah, I think more or less this is all that I had to share. Yes, one good thing that I wanted to talk about option buying. It is not really the tricky part to find whether the trend is there or not, or how good the trend is there. The real beauty of an option trading, the long side of it is that when you find a trend, how exactly you're pyramiding or how exactly you're delta drifting. If you know the art of you start with 10 lots, but I have already gone to 500 lots, that is the key. The key is not to buy 10 lot ka call or 10 lot ka put. That is over a period of time we are going to have that thing. That is not going to be that difficult. Create your system जहाँ पे कि आपको लगेगा कि okay fine, these are the zones I don't need to trade, these are the zones I need to trade definitely, and maybe मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा क्या हो रहा है, let me just stay away from the market. But once you get your meat, there is no question of letting it go. Last 30 minutes में जो let's say the pullback आया था, let's say जो rally आया था, if you're a trader in front of the system, that is the point to milk the market. Market ये इस type का rally free ride नहीं देता. जब वो देता है, ऐसा नहीं कि मैं एक लॉट लेता हूँ, 2 लॉट लेता हूँ, नहीं. You got to go aggressive if your system is allowing so. So I think the first target, all of you, in case you're a directional trader, right? First is that you need to have that sense of direction, D for direction, D for delta. That is how you make money for a directional trader. Once you have the sense of direction, how to play about it. It is just not enough that you have a car, but how exactly you can drive the car, that will actually give you the satisfaction. So पहले आपको ट्रेंड पता चल गया कि ओके फाइन, ट्रेड अपसाइड है, डाउन साइड है, कोई ट्रेंड नहीं है, बट एक बार ट्रेंड पता चलने के बाद हाउ डू यू पिरामिड, दैट शुड बी द ऑब्जेक्टिव डाउन द लाइन, आई वुड से. So I think yes, I'm pretty much done. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. And yeah, I'm sorry. Who is the person? No, I am a discretionary trader. I don't believe in backtesting. Not that I don't do backtesting, but tell me all the backtesters who were there in 2020, how much money they would have made. So backtesting is good, but we are thinking about something that has happened 5 years back, 4 years back, 3 years back in a market that you're living today. Trust me, that is nonsense. It's okay. We have to do backtesting. There is no this thing. We need to have an kind of understanding how the kind of dynamics function. But just because backtesting is telling me, okay, this much is what it is going to be, trust me, the worst of surprise will come with the least of expectations. And that will never get covered in the backtesting. Yes, you must do backtesting, but only when you go beyond the backtesting kind of regime, okay, fine. See, it depends. अगर आप swing trader है, positional trader है, do more rely on the backtesting part of it, and I'm pretty sure this will give you good result. There's no doubt on that. But the dynamics of the market, especially if you're playing for index, Nifty, Bank Nifty and things like that for a day or two, and every second day, every hour, things are changing. Trust me, backtesting will not give you the comfort that you desire to have, right? Let me tell you also this thing, the kind of movement that Bank Nifty used to show 3-4 years back in a week has started happening in a day. The kind of movement that used to Bank Nifty be showing 3-4 years back, 4-5 years back in a day has started happening in an hour. So उस टाइम पे बैक टेस्टिंग आप लेके I really don't think I would like to take a separate view. Not that I'm discouraging or saying कि this is not to be done, but maybe you need to see something else. What you need to see maybe for the last 6 months, I think more than fine. But don't go too back because the dynamics are changing and I'm not too comfortable with that. Yeah. If the trend reverses, I don't hold on any position sizing. It's not that I'll take out my positions one by one or rather in kind of different tranches. This is my way. I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but my position sizing, let's say I said, let's say I started with 10 lots, now I have 1,000 lots. And once there is a stop loss with the view in terms of there is probable change of trend, maybe 1,000 lots से मैं 300 lot फिर 300 lot ऐसा ऐसा करके मैं निकालूंगा, irrespective at what price. Now this is my way. I'm not saying this is the correct way, right? You might find more authenticate scientific way. I don't belong to that school of thought. But my point is कि if my sense of direction has gone wrong or rather जो मैं सोच रहा था कि उस टाइप का चीज नहीं हो रहा है, I need to get out. First, I need to stop bleeding because let's say, see, it's very easy for anyone to say, okay, I have 5 lots and let me see, right? But let's say personally, I play with bit of quantity. With that thing, if the slightest of mistake, it can bleed me badly, right? And it has bled me badly in the past. That is there. So, but at the same time, what I try to do, whenever there is a trend reversal or the slightest hint, okay, fine, now whatever that was there, that is there, let me book the profit. So, मैं 1,000 lot कभी नहीं लूँगा अगर if I am not already in the profit.
So in this strategy, the first thing would be the fractals, right? That probably show up. Or
see, fractals is something that is for booking your positions. Let's say I'm already from the नीचे से call buy कर रहा हूँ, ऊपर से मुझे cluster of 2-3 fractals देख रहे हैं. Bring your stop loss tight, reduce your position sizing, or maybe till that confirmation is not coming, I'll hold on to maybe 20% of the positions, not 100%. मतलब अगर मुझे पता है कि अभी जो 400 का प्रीमियम है अभी 350 होने वाला है 10 मिनट में, and I already have 5,000 quantity, I'm not going to give it to the market. So I'll put my stop loss maybe 10 points, 20 points at max. So yeah. No, not really. You keep trying. You kind of keep testing the water. आप 5-10 slot में शुरू करते, 10-20 slot में शुरू करते. Not that every time you try to put an effort, it is going to succeed or give you money. If it is not, you stopped out and you wait for the more kind of confirmations. Maybe it's not working out. But once you see that 10-20 lots is working fine, you add another 20, working fine. The upper week, let's say bullish kind of setup. Heikinhachi में upper week जो बना है, next candle का body is engulfing the upper week. I'm going to increase the quantity. I'll see other kind of factors, which is maybe obviously options data, maybe which are the banks which are rallying, let's say bank nifty is going up, what is the contribution plate and things like that. And I obviously, yes, I take many entries and many failed entries. I take lot of entries which get failed, then stopped out, wait for a better this thing, but you wait for that, that 30-35 minutes ka brilliance in terms of price action, bank nifty, that's a 200 point bag raha hai. You give me 200 points in bank nifty, I'll make millions. But I have to have the confirmation ki 200 point ka rally ho raha hai. Else I'll not put that much of quantity, right? And it doesn't kind of excite me to play for 20-30 points. I want to have 200 points, 250 points of bank nifty at least. Then I can put in the quantity. There have been times, even if I put quantity, things have gone wrong. But that's how you kind of learn bit of nuances from the market. Even if I have all the checklist done, still I've gone wrong, and I've gone wrong. So the point is, but at the same time, that would not deter me to do the same thing the next time whenever I see the setup. And that would come from the number of times you have failed and number of times you have made profit. So whenever I made profit, it has definitely given me way more money than the money that I've lost. And that equation that if I can maintain, that will give you the confidence to go for the next trade, the similar way. Just to give an example, 25th of February last year, I had my biggest loss in my career, entire career. Russia-Ukraine war, I was heavily short, wasn't good money. The next day, all the money gone, and I had lost huge money, right? And June, July, May, similarly, same setup I saw, again went aggressive and made double of that money. So my point is the number of times you fail, that actually teaches you, okay, fine, how better you could have approached the market this next time around. So don't be scared of taking that first step, 2 lots, 3 lots, 4 lots. Take a journal, as Abhishek was saying, and over a period of time, if you take 30 trades, on the 31st trade, you'll be a little more confident, and more confident rather. Yeah. Yes. Carrier positions till the time I feel confident, okay, fine. Hypothetically, I want 10 lakhs. Suddenly I see because of my position sizing or let's say market movement is 50 lakhs. I'm going to book the profit. I'm not going to wait, okay, let this 50 lakh go 60 lakhs, then I'll kind of book it. Or maybe I'll put a stop loss where maximum 4 or 5 lakhs will be kind of going out of from the profit. But ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं 50 को 60 या 70 करने के लिए still struggle. I can always re-enter. See, there's another thing. In options, because let's say I'll play always ATM. मैं hypothetically